It is the start of a new quarter. Can Wall Street put behind it what was the worst quarter for the S&P 500 since the start of the pandemic? Well, let's talk to Adam Coons. He's a portfolio manager with Winthrop Capital Management. Hey, Adam.
Hi, Conway. Thanks for having me.
Uh, Hey, I want to start first with Merck, if we can. We've
Yeah.
heard terms like game changer, breakthrough in terms of this new pill this experimental pill that could help treat COVID-19. How do you see it?
I think we see it as innovation is going to continue to come, and we see this as just the next step in that innovation towards fighting, all pandemics in general. So, game changer is probably a bit of a stretch, but absolutely kind of helps push us forward, and that's kind of how we see it is this moving back to a normal society, and this is just the next step.
And I wonder how would you frame it in the context of the economy, especially given the fact that before this pill or word of this pill, I mean we saw airlines, seeing slowdowns, the entertainment companies, the theaters, retail complaining about slower consumer traffic. So with a pill like this, does that bode well for the economy?
Yeah, I think what we need is for people to feel a little bit more secure. I think when we first saw the vaccine come out, we saw a little bit of that, and people saying, "Hey, we can get back out there." And then that started to slow as we saw the Delta variant kind of pick up across the globe. And so yeah, like you said, entertainment and airfare and travel in general started to decline. You see that in the prices of airfare have declined sharply over the past month. So it's a real thing that it was slowing. So I think this kind of gives us another boost towards moving towards, I guess what you want to call it, the old way, the normal. And so yes, you will see people feel more comfortable going to concerts, going to venues, and perhaps with less restrictions, because I know that that is kind of the roadblock for a lot of people. Is some people that might not even have the vaccination or haven't been comfortable with it so far might feel more comfortable with it now, and that will open the doors for them to go to more things out in the world.
So another piece of information that we received on this Friday, we got the PCE number, personal consumption expenditures. It showed that consumer spending rebounded in the month of August. So if you kind of put this like COVID-19 pill together with the fact that we got strong consumer spending, does that mean that the consumer could remain strong into the end of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I think the hurdles right now for the consumer are going to be number one, supply chain. So while the consumer may be willing to go and spend more money right now, the issue that's rising is there actually a product out there for them to go purchase? I mean, if you've been in a store, the aisles are a little more sparse right now. It is more difficult to get what you want. If you want a new car, you can't just necessarily go to a dealership and buy it right now. So those will be the hurdles for consumer spending, we think, here in the fourth quarter. So it's not just the ability financially to buy, but whether they can actually find the product they want. The other piece that we're worried about is there's still a lot of unemployed Americans out there, and regardless of the reason, the fact is that a lot of those unemployment benefits are rolling off. You're seeing student loan repayments pick back up. And so a lot of those things will put a little bit of pressure on individuals that maybe were in a tighter spot. So that will have an effect on spending. But overall, what we see right now is that going into the holiday season, that it's going to be a fairly strong holiday season.
And talk to me about inflation. I mean, we also got some data today on inflation. The core PCE up 3.6% year over year, which was what we saw the same. It was the same rate of growth the month before. But you believe that heightened inflation will be with us for the next. I think you said the next 2 years in your note. So how
Yep.
do you position your portfolio given that inflation outlook?
Yeah, so in an inflationary environment, you want to be long growth type names. So we still like your Alphabet, your Microsoft, Amazon, Salesforce, those type names still benefit through an inflationary cycle. In particular, if we see growth pick up. Now, if we see growth level off and we move into the terms use stagflation, that changes a lot of things. But for right now, as long as growth continues to be sustained, we can manage through inflation because you are still seeing wage inflation, which is above 4% right now, which means spending power is actually outpacing the price of goods. So that will keep the economy strong. So yeah, you want to be long growth right now.
And finally, before I let you go, let's talk real quick about China. I know you are not. Let me not say bullish on China, but you're not as 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 worried about China as a
Yeah.
lot of other investors are. And so, you still believe in China. How do you play that? Do you play it through Nike, Apple, Caterpillar, or some other way?
So I'm not afraid to use the word bullish, and we're going directly into it now. We're take Evergrande to the side. That is his own thing. But when we look at companies like Tencent, Alibaba, Baidu, and JD, very specific Chinese-based companies, we see tremendous growth opportunities. They're cash flow rich companies, and we don't think that the Chinese Communist Party is going to put these businesses out of business just for the sake of a party stance. So we see this as a short-term blip. There is going to be heightened volatility over the near term, but ultimately we see this kind of in the seventh to ninth inning of what China's trying to do on cracking down on regulation. So we're incrementally adding to our Chinese positions as we see increased value, and we think long term these are companies that are going to compete head on head with their U.S. counterparts.
All right, thanks. That's Adam Coons. He's a portfolio manager with Winthrop Capital Management. I'm Conway G. Gittins, and this is Reuters.